Just moving my flip-flops. I'm getting a pen, I might need one. See if anyone comes in first before I start. If anyone's there, say hi, because sometimes you can't tell. And I've got to know if my chat's working as well. Let me see. Oh. But it's got all hot. I'll just get comfy. Because I've decided to try and write something down, but that never really goes to plan. It always goes off anyway. And someone who I was just watching, who I'm going to talk about in a minute anyway, was saying the same as me. Like, they write things down, or they should write things down, but sometimes you just realise when it flows, it just flows. And that's how it comes in. I can see some people to say hi. I'm just wondering if chat's working. But anyway, it's not a hi. It's not a queue chat, even though I'll just say before I get started, big drops and yeah. The one where it wasn't even signed by a Q, it just said Donald J. Trump. Well, he did say, I did write this down actually because I was just like, wow. I'll just put it in there at the beginning because it's sort of to do with what I'm talking about, because he's actually involved in this. Let me see where I wrote it down. I'm not reading all of it out, but I did write a bit of it down, and it said, now, therefore, I, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Constitution, because that's what we need over here, everyone needs to remember about the Constitution, and the laws of the United States, I hereby proclaim September 2018 as National Preparedness Month. I encourage all Americans, including, this was from the White House site or whatever you call it, but on the Q drops, including including the federal, states, and local officials to take action to be prepared for disaster or emergency by making, it's because I'm trying to read and write when I wrote it down too quick, by making, what does that say? Making and practicing their emergency response plans. Each step we take to become better prepared makes a real difference in how our families and communities will respond and preserve when faced with the unexpected truth. That's what I'm thinking. In witness, therefore, I have hereunto set my hand this 31st day of August in the year of our Lord 2018, and of the independence of the United States of America, the 243rd, because I think that's how old America is, Donald J. Trump. And there was no Q on the end of that. And also, I think the big truths are coming out. Yeah, amen. Big truths are coming out before the 11th. 9/11, before the 11th. And remember what's coming out 2 days before the 11th of September, 9/11. What is coming out on the 9th of this month is Trump Wars, which is a little film that someone's putting together about Trump Wars. Now, he's saying get prepared. I think he's saying for the United States to get ready for unexpected truth, you know, the truth that's dropping. There will need to be emergency plans and stuff, because I think some people are going to go batshit crazy when they find out. That's how I see it, because I think in that film there's going to be something. But we'll wait and see. That's all I'm saying, but that's how I see it. So President Trump is in with this chat tonight because, and I just want to say, I do say I'm spiritual. We're all spiritual anyway, and it is one of my spiritual chats, or whatever you want to call it. Oh. It's not a movie. It's just something that's coming out by somebody different who's doing Trump Wars. It's called Trump Wars. Think about mainstream media. Oh, I've only just come on. You haven't missed anything. Yeah. Well, I think Q's been talking about CIA and everything. I don't think they've got the communications anymore at the minute. But it's not a Q talk today anyway, even though it's involved. Oh, I made these. Handmade. Oh, you mean Trump? I don't know what you said. What did you say? Yes, but this is a different sort of, it's not a movie. It's, thank you. It's about the Trump Wars. Think MSM and think what's been going on. But it's not about that, even though it sort of is. But it's not a Q talk. It's more of a spiritual talk of, you might think this is a bit whack. This is how I think anyway. So you can either take it as a bit of fun. You might resonate with it. You might just think I'm off my noggin, you know, just out there. But there's a lot of people out there that people call mad. And yeah, anyway, a few days ago or a week or so ago, I don't know, you know, time and space and all that. I come across someone called Max Spiers. I think it's Spears or Spires, or I think it's Spiers, and you can find him on YouTube. He's got lots of interviews. He also has had a partner called Sarah Adams, who does a lot of talk on spirituality. She's really good, but sadly Max passed away in 2016. Now, what I find strange about this, and another woman I've just come across who I've not researched on yet, called, I don't know if it was Cara or someone, but I'll have to look into that, is this is where it might sound mad to some, but in the world of, in the community, I should say, of conspiracy theories to do with alien abductions and all that sort of stuff, he was known as a super soldier, which makes me think of a lot of films out there. We know about films putting their propaganda in and twisting the truth. Makes me think of some, because I do love all the action, sort of space, sort of Marvel sort of films. So he was known as a super soldier of, sometimes they say, the MK Ultra thing, which is like, that made my ear prick up, because I thought, elites and stuff like that. But what I found with him is he's from, I do like sci-fi. He's from, well, Space Force, you know, Trump. Yeah, I love Star Wars is my favourite, the old ones. But he is from the UK, and I think he was only 38, 39. You can go and read about this, but be careful what you read. He apparently was into conspiracy theories. He was saying he was a super soldier. He knows how the world works differently through time and energy and different entities and all that sort of stuff, which is what I believe in. A bit David Icke-ish, but David Icke has brought a lot of truth, especially now when you look now and think, God, what he said then, actually, if you're on the same frequency I'm on with other stuff I follow as well, with Q, connects to that sort of thing as well, believe it or not. So he He apparently went to Poland. I don't know if it was to do a conference. Yeah, I like David Icke. To do a conference. You know, even the stuff Alex Jones has been talking about. You know, there's always hidden truth in things and twisted truth in everything. So he goes to Poland, and I don't know if it was to do a conference. You know, like they have like UFO conferences or abduction. You know, people talking about spiritual things have big meetups around the world to talk about, like we do on YouTube, your own community of what you like talking about. So he goes over to Poland. I'm not sure if he hadn't met these people before. I don't exactly know what was going on. You can research it, but he stayed there. I don't know if he went and did the speech, because really he was, on the videos that I've seen of him when he was alive, he wanted to get the truth out about it. Now, he goes to Poland, and I don't know if he's just there a couple of days or whatever. He dies in Poland on a couch in a room. I don't know if his girlfriend went with him and she found him. I'm not sure, but it is out there. Yeah, I am. I'll tell you at the end. And he dies, and he dies because he was spewing up black liquid. Black liquid. Makes me think of like the series Stranger Things, the black goo, if you know what I'm talking about. And she and the mother communicated through lights. Energy. You know, them sort of things, yeah. If you Google it, it's out there, you can Google it. Black liquid coming out of him. But the BBC, yeah, it sounds like he was poisoned, but the BBC, mainstream media, had said, because he was from England, he had died because he was a drug addict, this, that and the other, blah, 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 blah. You know, like they all do. Yeah, possession or whatever. Dark entities. You know, the normal story. Oh, he was this, that and the other, and he was mad, and, you know, that's what they always say. But, and they said his mother had said, oh yeah, he's this, that and the other. But his mother didn't say that, because there is a video of her going around saying that he left her a message or something saying, if anything happens to me, investigate. And she said something on the lines of, his death, he's been killed because he'd got into something so deep that he was trying to bring out. She think he'd got killed. But he was only a conspiracy theorist talking about being a super soldier and MK Ultra and the way the world really works and entities and energy and all this stuff. So, you know, it just made me think. And the more I've watched the videos, the more I've been like, yeah, this is how I actually think. So anyway, you can go and check that out, and you can Google the story that the BBC wrote, and you can actually find the story of what others were saying and his mother, who actually put it on video. But he was sort of talking about, this is where it gets a bit, you know the film Looper? Was it Looper or something? You know, where you can loop into different dimensions and all that sort of stuff. Oh yeah, because I mean that's join the dots with the Q thing, suicide, and you know when you, yeah. I think, was it called Looper, like different dimensions, or it was like time traveling or something. Sleeper cells, people who are waking up at a certain time in eras to what they once knew or should know at a certain time. Races, different races, like we have different races, but different races of, like, have you heard people say, like David Icke, the reptilian, the Anunnaki, the Anunnaki or the or some, so I can't remember what they're called. Yeah, different dimensions, different races, the Pleiadians, all sorts of different stuff. 3D, where we live, then there's 4D and 5D. And I was just listening to all this, and your DNA and DMT, you know, the natural sort of drug that you can see out of the 3-dimensional to maybe the 4th, or maybe more. The entities that live around us, yeah, different vibrations, things that live in a different vibration, because we can't see it because we live in 3D, but there are things around us, because you feel it. Like I said the other day, you can feel something, and we're sort of like in a reincarnation sort of cycle. You know when you see that sign, you know, symbols on, who is it who owns Virgin, and it's like that, you know, like the infinity, because we're recycled back down, you know, recycled, but it's like a machine, they say, that traps us, because really we're kept away from source energy, and there's a sort of net, you know, like a sort of, that keeps us in, like the Matrix, as people are saying, a loop. Yeah. Which is funny, because someone said, I'm going to show you how I see in my head how the world works. I've sort of drawn a picture of it. I'm just trying to see what else I wrote. Yeah. Oh, and the DMT thing, because someone said the other day, have you seen the documentaries on DMT? And I have, because that was more of a, I don't know if I can say this right. It's called dimethyl tridentate. Oh, I've not said that right. Anyway, DMT. Is it ethotriptone? Diethotriptone mean? Something like that. Can't say it, it's a long word. But it's more of a simple compound found throughout you know, nature. I can't see what you're saying. Oh, people need to know the real meaning of conspiracy theory. It means one who wants to hurt one person, or who wants to take down a government. Well, yeah, because conspiracy to me is the CIA made that word up ages ago. Government, you know, all that sort of stuff. Because if someone was talking about truth, they called you a conspiracy theory, because it's only a conspiracy theory. Don't believe what they're saying. So no one really believes the conspiracy theories, because they're seen as mad. Okay. Some are. Yeah, it's that word, but I can't say it. But it's throughout nature, in animals and plants and humans. Sometimes, you know, they've made this drug a bit of a synthetic one, and someone was saying, you know, it wasn't too bad, but when it's synthetic, I don't think it's that good. But then again, some things are, but you know, we already have it. So there's all that sort of stuff, and that was people would see, you know, colours and different things and things around us that we wouldn't see in 3D. So there's all that sort of stuff, but I'm just sort of like chucking this out there. Oh, I'll see you next time. That's something I won't go into tonight. I'm not part of that. And something else. But I see it as, like, because when I was listening to them, it was resonating with me, and it's not just them. Things I've watched before, or thought about, you know, when you think, if you've ever thought, like, what is the world? Why are we here? Sort of thing, you know, like, why are we here? I used to think all the time, like, why is the pain? Why do these things happen? Surely we're not here to just work and die. I know we have things in between, but basically we work a lot and die. You know, surely we're here not to just do them things. Surely there's something more, as that's what most people think. So I see the world as, someone said before, I'd written this the wrong way around. I hadn't written the wrong way around. The other writing's the wrong way around, but I tried to write the bigger writing the other way around when I had it on this camera, so you'd see what I was saying. But I see the world like this. So yeah, to unite. So we've got, oh, let me move back a bit and put a cushion behind my back. Oh, some words are back to front, but basically, here is earth, here we are. Here is heaven. We live in a 3D, I like to say, realm. The 3D realm, plane, I should say, plane. The 3D plane here, and then in between, you know, what we can't see is 4D, and then 5D is I did write something else. Hang on, I did write something else about this. So let me find my notes, because I did write something on this just to explain that. Oh, I've got a cake. Yeah, so I did write some bits down. So we live on the 3D plane, because, you know, and that is the physical plane. So we're here 3D, okay? So I see it like Yeah, well, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna move up. So 3D is the physical plane. The visible reality of space and time, energy and matter, the physical universe in occultism and esoteric cosmology is a 3D plane where it's physical. You know, we can physically touch things, but we can't see other things in the next realm up, or the next plane, I should say. This is the plane of material. It's the material world of fear and ego. So I'm just doing short little bits on it. 4D is astral plane. And like when people say, have you astral projected? Which I think I have, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. So this is how I see it anyway. It doesn't mean it's true or whatever, or it's just how I think and how I see it. It's my truth to me. 4D is here. So you've got the astral plane. So is a dimension that is less dense and much more fluid than the third dimension. Much more fluid than the third dimension. Just let me see if I've put anything else in there. Oh, and this is that. Is that the astral plane? Yeah, the astral plane is known more as the magical dream world. Host the illusion of duality and ego. Fear is able to exist also, you know, on the 4D plane as well. Here, but linear, it to be a stream of energy hosting all events of one particular time. I don't even know what I've put there. What have I put? One particular time. I don't know what I've put in there. Normally, you visit there at night if you're astral projecting. I can't say the word right. Visit at night in our dream state. You know, when you dream. Travel past and future. You can transform things there. And travel to places. That's what people say. But experienced astral travelers can they can do it in the daytime as well. Well, I didn't say we were outside the dome, because look, I said here, if this is a dome at the top and you're astral projecting here, you're still in it. Don't know if we can get past the firmament, people, but you know, this is how I see it. And then you've got, oh, what did I put there? Oh, the fourth dimension connects darkness and light. On this plane, we can protect us only by applying the energetic universal laws as there is no human, sorry, I'm just reading off this. There is no human laws or regulations for control in the 4D. 5D is, what did I put? The divine love. Higher dimension, universal energies and frequencies. Let me see what else I put. Yeah, higher level of frequencies, transmuting, not transmitting. Higher level of frequencies, transmuting lower frequencies. Lower frequencies can't live in that higher frequency. Frequencies of fear into unconditional love, up to a point where no fear is left, because that is just pure love. There can't be hate or anything where pure love is unconditional love. 5D, all of high dimension, the last one of, I don't know what I put, the last one of the dimensions, light and unconditional love. Source energy on the way down before entering realms of limitations and duality. This is the dimension beyond their time, eternal soul. But I sort of see it as, and what these people were saying as well, what I've been watching as well, is if you, I also see, I don't know if anyone's going to get this, this is my head, but there's the world again, here's where we are. I think there's also a core going down. Now if you think of like the South Pole and the North Pole and the Aurora Borealis lights, thank you, and the energy that comes there, because the energy is the I can't say Aurora Borealis lights because light is energy, it holds frequency, it holds energy. We are from the light, we are light, that's why people say shine your light, you know, your soul, your light. If they were like the North Pole and the South Pole, and you know there's always things going on at the poles, you know, and government and people go down there and all this weird stuff, but I sort of see it as well as this bit in the middle is like the core of our plane or our planet, and it has a lot of energy going through it, which sort of looks a bit like this, which sort of looks like frequencies, which sort of looks like DNA. Like, I know it's not a very good picture, but your DNA is twisted. Also, I can't draw it, but the sign we have of the man, you know, there's a picture of like when they do, is it like human, when they do doctor things and they have like a man stood out like that, you know, on documentaries and stuff with a circle around him, if anyone gets what I'm talking about. I see that as, it's there, but I see this as, thank you, we're all from the stars, we all have a bit of star in us, so when that man's like that, if you know what I'm talking about, I don't know what the sign is, the thing that you see where the man's out like that when you're talking about bodies and stuff, he's inside, which is a bit like here, and the way he stood like that, if you connect all the points, the head to the hands to the feet sort of thing, it's like a star shape from the stars. And then like your DNA, I think, has got like, it remembers, it has memory in it, sort of thing. This is what I believe. But then it went into my head like, oh yeah, you know when they have the pictures of the tree of life, because I've been into all that sort of stuff before, this is how I see it, and I've just drawn this out. So here we are again. Our planet, our plane, the core, the spine of our planet, our plane, whatever you want to call it, our realm, whatever you want to call it, the core, the DNA, it looks like the tree of life, because at the bottom are the roots, and at the top, you know, you've got like the branches, which upside down is the same thing, as above so below, and also then you have your rainbow colours going in the middle because it's light energy, and these are chakras. So hence at the bottom you've got root chakra, which fun enough, these are the roots, these are the lower energies down at the bottom. You've got your sacral, is it your sexuality and creativity, you've got your wisdom and power, that's the solar plexus chakra. Then you've got the heart chakra, which is love and healing. Funny enough, green, because that reminds me of earth. Yeah, I was sat in the garden in the sun later on today and just did this. And then you've got your throat chakra, which is communication. And then you've got the third eye chakra is awareness, because you're aware. And then you've got the crown chakra, which is spirituality. This is where we want to reach. We want to travel up from your root chakra to your crown chakra. And I see this as, this is where we begin when we're reincarnated. You start in the lower chakras, you start in the lower plane and you work yourself up. If you stay in the lower chakras, you hold negative energy, and negative entities will lock onto you as well, because I sort of saw it as, I'll go on to the next bit in a minute, and that was the tree of life. You see that picture a lot, and you do see some jewellery with the tree of life with the chakra colours on it. But I'll go back to that in a minute, because then from there I thought, oh yeah, so if we were in a world of, here we are again, Here we are again. You've got your spine of, you know, where we live. The chakras going up, bit like the Rainbow Bridge, you know, the Norse, Thor and all that I'm into. Hi, Dad. Everyone has the right to live, the right to be free, and the right to happiness without impending happiness. Yep. And I see it, I don't know what my dad thinks, but because my dad's read books and stuff before, I see it as when we move up the chakras, because you move up with awareness and when you're learning, and then hopefully you learn that coming out of your root chakra, because these chakras at the bottom are the lowest energies. You want to move up to the high, which is love. Love is at the top, as one love. Yeah, like our spinal cord. It is like our spinal cord. It's a lot to do with our spinal cord and our DNA. So when we move up, we want to go to love. So then they say we get reincarnated back round, a bit like a machine, and you start from the bottom. But let me just turn around and sort of explain what I think. But they say there's a web over the world. So there's these entities out there that have trapped us in, they say, the Matrix for a very long time. And what they're saying is these people, which I sort of think, yeah, is we're meant to move up to 5D, to be enlightened, to be spiritual, to be one. And then you can manifest in those areas. I think you can manifest in 4D, but when you get to 5D, you can manifest to your heart's content. Your dream life is, you can manifest everything. But they've trapped that. They want to keep us, the nymph, whatever you want to call them. They're called by different names. These anarchs, or I have just wrote something down about them. Hang on. Some people call them different names, like hang on a minute, like years back, people used to call them demons. People, you know, far east or Central America, you know, like Christians and things, demons. They were called archons. The I think it's Gnostic. Used to call them archons. Different places, different cultures have different names for them. Pre-Islamic, used to call it the jinn. Still do call it the jinn. There were serpent gods. There were the Anunnaki, which is Sumer. People call them Sumer. There was, I can't say this, Chitauri or something. I know I've got that wrong, by the Zulu. And like star people by various people. These people are supposed to be the ones that keep us down, take our energies off us and keep us suppressed. And these entities can go into using people as well. But how they do it is they sort of say like a machine. If you imagine a net, if this was open for us to travel up and go where we're freely supposed to go in the end, to love, they put like a net on, so it makes us be trapped and go back round, and we keep reincarnating. But when we go back down, they say apparently that when you die, or when people say I've seen the light, you're going through a tunnel and you see the light. They're saying the light isn't good. They're tricking you to believe the light is good because you believe your relatives are there, this, that and the other. But it's a false light because they're trying to trick you, because once you get there, you may be seeing something. Human beings are just humans being human, yeah. And they sort of trick you. So you can go up there and manifest for a bit, but when you come back down, because they will reincarnate you again, you will lose your memories. Your memories will be wiped. You'll go back down and reincarnate in the same thing again. It might not necessarily be the same life, but the same, you know, fears that we have, the pain, the things we, you know, the way the world is today, the things that you'd really want to be lifting yourself up and going off somewhere else, they're just keeping you in that cycle, in that loop, in that recycled sort of state. You don't want to be recycled to do it all over again, because if you've been through stuff and not good stuff, you don't want to go through that again. But they don't want you to wake up to that. But I do believe there are sleepers, people who remember stuff. That's why people talk about stuff in the past. But also, they say if you go down the light, they say when they made it wrong when they made this sort of capture thing, because it had holes in it. A bit like, you know, when you have Swiss cheese or something and it's got holes in it. So the light would come in. Not the light, the false light, but what you can see outside, to try and go through the holes to get out into, I can't remember what they called it. But funnily enough, I've said this before, a few months back, I was in a state of, I was really relaxed in bed. I had my eyes closed, but I was awake, but I had my eyes closed. You know, you can see darkness when your eyes are closed. And I just felt very, very relaxed, and I could hear my breathing was very heavy, like I'd slowed down my breathing. I just very relaxed and I felt happy. And I just remember it was like I was going through a wormhole. The wormhole had a lot of different lights like this round it. It wasn't a dark tunnel and then there was light. It was like a wormhole. Yeah, yeah, like a bit like a dream catcher. Yeah, like a web. And they were like flashes of like neon, like electric. And I remember I was going down it, but then I got distracted and looked to the left. And I remember seeing what I thought to be a planet full of light, full of lush greenness. Yeah, they have lost the ability to think themselves. And I just remember thinking, oh, it's planet Earth, like if it was heaven on earth, you know, nice. And then I woke up and I just remember it being very wax bands me dad. My just very relaxed and happy. And I said to my mum, because she was sleeping over, and she said she that didn't happen to her, but she felt very relaxed that night, and she doesn't sleep well, and very like so relaxed, you know, when you feel so light. So I don't know if that was my energy rubbing on her, but that's what she said. I don't know if anyone gets what I'm trying to say, but I do actually believe that. And I do believe we're all trying to get to the oneness, but I do think there are entities out there, because I'm sorry, the universe is too big. It's like, I've seen David Icke saying stuff about, if we're the size of a pinhead, do you really think that there would be nothing out there? Just because, I mean, I think there's UFOs out there. I think some people are joking and some people see stuff, but, you know, I think there's stuff out there, and there's a lot of cover-ups, as there's a lot of cover-ups with everything else that's going on right now, even in what we call the physical world right now, with stuff that's going on with, you know, the Pope and Hillary Clinton and Obama and all, you know, all this sort of stuff that's going on globally, and the children and everything. And I just believe they're bad energies, and those people who do this on the physical as well are from bad energies. They are in they just stay around here in the root chakra. They don't go up. I believe they don't go up. They stay in the lower forms of energy, where hopefully you could start there, but you move up as you learn things and you're going in life. But if you're not learning and you're not, you know, it's like I said, knowledge is power. You just sort of stay down there, and if it's a lower energy, that's where I believe lower entities can stick, or lower thoughts. Yeah, it's a place of evil. And they want us to just keep recycling us, to come back round, you know, to recycle, you know, reincarnation that way, when it shouldn't really be that way. I think space, what are you saying? I think space is can't see. Space is a distraction to the real alien life in the ocean. Yeah, I also think that as well, because I also drew this, because we can't say for sure, because we're told so many lies. This is what I'm trying to get at. You don't have to believe what I'm saying if you think it's too out there, but at the end of the day, we're told lies. Now, heaven, earth, firmament, what is this? See this? Earth, there we go. Right? Now you think if you drained the water and flipped it upside down, as above, so below. You think of the abyss. We've not really been there. You drain the water out and flip it the same way around. You know, there's like, what would you call it in the sea? cliffs and things, mountains, but the other way around. If you turned around and drained the water, there'd be like big mountains and things, and it's so deep down there. And I also think that as well, because if there is a firmament and we can't actually get past it, and space or the sort of heavens or whatever is within the dome, if you want to call it like that, if you can't get past the firmament, there could be things down below. Because the thing is, the government and all these people, they lie about stuff, and it's normally the opposite. So Trump created Space Force to take control of everything to do with space and a massive budget that's coming along with the... Yep. Well, he's sorting the space out, where they took all the money for... But if they flip everything and they're looking up, maybe it's from below when we talk of Atlantis and stuff like that, or I don't know. But there are places in the oceans that we've not... well, we probably have got to. They're probably telling us we haven't, but maybe hasn't been explored properly, or they are exploring but they don't want to tell us, which makes me think of the film Pacific Rim. They didn't come from the stars, they came from below. As above, so below. Maybe there's entities above, there can be entities below, and that goes into all the other stuff like Antarctica and underground cities, and when people talk about underground races, and hollow earth, despite whether you think that's bonkers or not, there's so many different things you could look into, which all in all wouldn't bother me, because like I said, we've been lied to. I can think outside the box, but I do sort of think, it wouldn't surprise me. The Tree of Life is almost every major religion, yes, and or spiritual belief, yes, going back thousands of years, even studied by Egyptians, yes. And that's because, funnily enough, let me just get it off the floor, where is it? I was just doing stuff about that as well, believe it or not, where, it's here, where a lot of things go back. That's what I was saying before about David Icke saying some things are called the Anunnaki, the different races, people, all these are calling, maybe the, what did he say? The archons that have trapped us here. He said, it's like religion is like a belief, but when you look at belief, I know this is back to front, it's got lie in it. It's just you knowing. Knowing has got, living in the now, and also win there. Yes, the source. If we're living in a matrix, which is keeping us in, you can never get up because it's bouncing you back down. And they want you disconnected from yourself and others. And humans need human connection, I think, and that's what they've been trying to take apart with everything that's going on in the physical realm right now anyway. And David Icke was also saying, the politicians, the corporations, the president, etc., so on and so on, the Rothschilds, blah, blah, blah. But he said, who is the driver force behind this? Now, he thinks the driver force is these archons, if you like to call it, the jinn, the Anunnaki, demons, whatever. And he was saying, years back, there was, I don't know if it was a race or whatever they were called, I think it's Gnostic, is it? Gnostic. And they had a great library, and we know where the great library was because it was in Egypt. I can't remember the name, but I have read this before. But, them Romans came along, didn't they, and started to destroy it. And they wanted to take the knowledge, because with these, sorry if I'm saying it wrong, Gnostic, they had the knowing. They wanted people to have the knowing. People studied there, about everything, and everyone should know everything. But the Romans came along and wanted to destroy it. Yeah, Alexandria, exactly. And what they believed, apparently someone found a jar. They have found these texts, and that's what I believe. Some might be hidden under the Vatican, as well as all the horrible stuff that's going on down there. I do believe there's texts from way back, hidden from us because we've been hidden from the truth. This is what I think. Anyway, doesn't mean you have to believe it. They found some jars that had the writings in by the Gnostics. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong. And the writings talked about the archons, and the archons are the ones that are manipulating human society from the unseen. We can't see them because they're not 3D. You know, and they said from the silence, Father of all, the silence is the creator of all, not a man with a beard who sits on a cloud. It's the source creator. But they are manipulating human society from their, their dimension. Because they can't come in 3D, but they can work through energies, electricals and energies, to manipulate humans. You know, you talk about all this like sort of MK Ultra stuff, a bit like what I was talking about Max, and that's just why I found it interesting, because I thought, whoa. And also, I think this was a quote as well, and it says 17 up there. It says, yeah, they feed on energy, yeah. So when these wars are going on and you're getting upset and this, that, and the other, they feed off negativity. They don't like positivity. But it says infinite awareness in awareness itself, and then it says, yeah, history books have changed. That's what I mean. We're hidden from the truth. Everything's hidden. They burned books and everything. So it says, he is an incomprehensible one, but it is he who comprehends all, and nothing exists outside of him, but all exists within him. And he is boundary to them all, as he encloses them. He encloses them all, and they are all within him. There is no place outside of him, because he is within, like I was saying yesterday, the source is within us, the kingdom is within us, God is within us, love, it is all within. And that's why I believe people with low energies, and these people we see on the physical plane, like Hillary and, you know, them sort of bad people who look evil, and look at the state of her lately, they only work in the lower realms, and they can't feel love. They don't. That's why they love money and material stuff, because that's all they have. They don't have the love and the empathy and the compassion and the light within them, because they are running off negative energy. They're staying in that low chakra, and history would be a wonderful thing if it was true, exactly. And that's where they stay. But I also was liking this idea, because I also think this. Now everyone goes on about, the pyramids and what they're really for and blah 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 blah. And I've even seen people down on Speaker's Corner, some people that I watch now and again, wearing the Eye of Ra and this, that, and the other. And actually, I saw this today and thought, yeah, that is what I think. Now they're saying your cells in your body are like mini solar panels. Solar, sun. You need the sun for energy. That's why you should sun gaze. The Egyptians were sun worshippers, because they knew the light of the sun holds energy, because, it helps things grow. There's loads of things that the sun do. It's, electrical sources, which I'm getting into. I've written it down, which they tell us a load of shite about what the pyramids for, when we really know the pyramids, and there are pyramids all around the globe. And I've just wrote some down just for an example. China, Mexico, Egypt, United States, Turkey, Indonesia, France, Canary Islands, Italy, all over. And there's actually one in Salisbury, I think it's called, in the UK, but it doesn't look like one because it's a bit rounded near. I think it's near Stonehenge or one of them. I don't know. But they're trying to distract, you see. And it's all grassy and that, but they reckon it was a pyramid made of chalk or something, but it was a pyramid years back, because I believe, no, I don't live in Detroit. I believe, not talking to me. I believe there's pyramids all over the world, and some are hidden, some are underground, whatever, because they were a source of energy used with the sun, and it was there because the Egyptians were sun worshippers. Yeah, Tesla was on it, and we know what happened there, and Trump and all that, his uncle. They could heal through this energy as well. And what the pyramids were there for was to raise the vibrations of Earth around the globe. But if you were, so you were like from, what would you call that? Like a son of light. You were from the good side, you know, if you were healing, stuff like that. But if you were on the lower energy, obviously you're from the black sun because you're lower in energy. You know, you're not bothered about that. For you, from a dark energy, the vampire energy that sucks off people, wants to suck their energy off them. You know, you're a parasite. And these are like people on the physical plane today, because if you're eating the wrong food all the time, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. But if you're not balancing it out and you're constantly eating like garbage and alcohol and drugs and even medications, I'm not talking about all medications, but it will keep you in a low place and a low vibration, because those foods, we all know that, you know, junk food and all that is not good for you. It's addictive, and the reason why it's addictive, they want it to be addictive to keep you on it, to keep you in a low vibrating, bad light, low vibrations. But if you're, you know, your body is a temple, you try and look after yourself and, you know, away from them sort of things, and looking after you, your insides, you know, because that all puts in with it, you will become more of a higher vibration. So there is something in Egypt, and they have told us lies about it. People know, people are clicking onto it. You look at the underground tunnels, it was for energy. It wasn't, I don't believe it was anything to do with even if they had mummies there or whatever, they're just trying to hide stuff. Even the Sphinx, or whatever you call it, moderation, go either way, not good. Yeah. If people were told the truth, they'd want to help themselves, wouldn't they? But we're not told the truth. We're told things are good for us when they're not, and things that are bad for us sometimes are good for you. Like, I drink distilled water. Some people say it's bad. Well, I've been doing quite well on it. It's getting rid of stuff that I had before. Also, when you see corporations using the pyramid sign like the elites do and everything, oh yeah, I'll talk about that in a minute. It's because it's not necessarily the triangle is the pyramid is a bad sign. The pyramid sign was there to, you know, they say the Illuminati, to raise the vibrations of Earth, but they've took over it and they're using it. What's the opposite of raising frequencies? They're lowering, because that's what they do. So I believe the Illuminati, these elites, know the power that we all, some of us know, and that we all should know, because it was supposed to be shared with humanity. But no, they're greedy. They're from a lower vibration. They wanted to keep it to a certain select, you know, people. So that's why I say, don't get too caught up in symbolism and that, because they do use it as against us. And that's why I believe they do all this 666 stuff with their eye, because I also believe, someone was saying the other day about it also means they're joking, as in the Eye of Horus. Thank you. Yeah, the Eye of Horus. They're joking like, oh look, we've got the Eye of Horus, we've got the Eye of Horus, ha ha, sort of thing. Because if you, I loved the film Egyptian Gods with Horus in it. Yeah, they corrupt everything. So just because, I mean, there could be some people doing that and it means Horus or a different way you do it, but just because somebody has used a symbol like butterflies, you know, they're going about the monarch butterfly like MK Ultra, doesn't mean I've been MK Ultra'd. I like butterflies for a different reason. They they destroy everything. They use symbols to their own thing. Yeah, I used to be into witchy stuff, and it's still all interlinked with everything, because symbols are used differently. Like, I believe they use the star, the pentacle, you know, the right way up with the point at the top, but upside down, it's worshipping Satan. So it's like the opposite side to things. Someone may use it in their group as a sign that means to them, because obviously if they've seen that symbol, they know what it means. To others, it might not mean nothing, or it might mean something else. Yeah, I practice witchcraft. Yeah, I mean, they're going on about, you know, Homer being a witch, and I know it sounds mad. Hillary and a bit, who's that? Who they call the high priestess? She's actually a witch. The bloody here on Instagram, I've said her name before. I can never remember what her bloody name is. Supposed to be 70 odd with dark hair, but I believe there's an a light occult and a dark occult. That's what I'm saying here. The Egyptians were sun worshippers, son of light. The lower people, entities or whatever, these that didn't like that and wanted to take that away and use it for their lower vibrations. Yeah, thank you, Abramovich, the bitch there. They are, you know, of the dark, son of the dark, they're son of the light, son of the dark sun, the dark light. So there's always like, you know, light and dark. They call them the magicians, I think maybe in the 4D realm, the people are called magicians, whether you believe it or not. There are magicians about. It's about how they use their energies. So people don't believe these stories, all like witches and that, but what I don't like about it now, because if you go back to some of my videos, I used to do witchy talks and stuff like that, but it was for positivity because I believe that's all to do with nature and all to do with a bit like the Egyptians, you know, and we all have the power within, we all have energy, so everybody's got it. It's how you use it. No, I don't think it's evil, it's how you use it. If you're using it for the good, then that's good, because if you're using it for the evil, it's like good and bad people. You don't really have to put a label on yourself. And I never said Wicca anyway. I said, what was it? When you're, yeah, we're pagans. When you're, what's it called? When you're on your own doing it, sort of thing. And it's just putting intentions out there, like putting a prayer out there, law of attraction and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that's what I mean. It depends on how someone uses something. That's what I was saying the other day, that Tesla had, you know, the free energy and all that. He had machines that could do good jobs, and he was for humanity, and he wanted to help humanity, to help them have easier lives. But if these machines and inventions got in the wrong hands, of course someone's going to use them from evil if they're from a lower vibration, because that's what people do. They take over and they use it for their lower vibrating flipping intentions themselves. But if you use it for the good, then, you know. No, not yet. I was just looking at this stuff, but, you know, some people think there's pyramids only in Egypt, and there isn't. They're all over the world, and some are hidden. Yeah, a lot of Christian holidays were based on, yeah, they were, because if you think about it, that's what we used to sort of worship years ago, because the sun rised and you wanted the sun, and you probably do a dance for the rain and all that sort of stuff, you know. So, and we also know that religion came in to distract everyone, because I believe, I'm not religious, but I believe Jesus was a man, and Jesus went to Egypt, to the Great Library, because that's where great people went who were learning and had knowledge. I've said that there's ones in Antarctica, they're dotted everywhere, hidden, you know. And I see Jesus as a man from one, you know, we're all from source, in physical form. I'm from one, I'm in physical form. He was a man in physical form, you know, from God, which is, you know, energy source, but in the physical form. So he was a man, a human being, called Jesus, or whatever his name was, who was trying to help people break away from the system that we're still in now, meaning to realise that God is within, everything is within. You shouldn't be looking to religion. You don't need to go to church. I know there's people who do. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm just saying you don't need to go to church when you know the church is within you. God is within you. God's source is within you. The power is within you. Like I said the other day, heart energy, you know, think with your heart, not with your brain, because your energy, your heart, your intuition always knows. He was a guy that was trying to tell people, you know, live your life, you know, with compassion, love and empathy. Because if you look around now, I don't care what people say, what you believe it's true or not, that is what is trying to be taken away from the world now is, there's truth in the Bible. Yeah, you're your own altar. You should worship yourself, nobody else. That's what Jesus' words were, basically. You live with compassion, love, and empathy. You don't do to others what you wouldn't do to yourself. You look around the world today, and that is exactly what they're trying to take away. God, they are trying to take empathy. They are trying to take compassion, and they are trying to take love, because that is what they've been doing. They are trying to make everyone into zombies, if you want to say it, walking around who don't care. People are getting hurt about them. No one cares. I'm not saying everybody. They don't want to speak to people. They don't want to communicate. Everything. But that's how I see Jesus as. He was a man who came to tell people the story, but when the Romans came and all the other things that came, the churches, they tried to cover it up. They've took over. I'm not saying churches are bad. I'm saying there's priests out there that are brilliant. These ones that are what to get the true word out there, and I think that's brilliant to get the true word of God, Jesus, out there. But some have come in, like these paedophiles at the minute, in churches. I'm not saying everyone, who are getting arrested, by the way, as we're seeing all over. Who have, and the Pope, by the way, because we know he's bad, who are lying and who are trying to get people to worship Satan, because that's what he's been trying to do. They are worshipping a false god. Some of them don't know that at the Vatican, but that is what he's been doing. And what's he been up to? So, yes, you've got to be careful. You've got to be careful. You know within you what's the truth, but that is how I see it. I'm not saying it's the truth. I'm not saying you should believe it. I'm not saying follow what I say. Follow yourself, but here what feels right. But that is, funny enough, just how I actually see the world. I don't believe it's a man with a beard on a fluffy cloud, and I don't actually believe that man in the fluffy cloud is sat on the steps when you pass. I think it's an energy, life force that we all go to, and be careful of what light you do follow, because I don't even believe that the light is what you should be following. But in the Bible, there are lots of things in there that are true, and the saying of what Jesus was saying to follow, but there's a lot in the Bible that has been twisted. Sorry to say, this is what I believe. You don't have to believe it, because Bibles have been rewritten and this, that and the other, and they have twisted it and tried to twist things and stuff like that. I've read a bit of Genesis and that, but I don't actually read, because he said that as well, I don't actually need to follow a religion or read a book or whatever to know what I think. What I think, for me anyway, my truth. It might not be your truth, but I'm saying my truth, if you understand what I'm saying. But I know a lot of people follow, and that's good, but it would be nice if people put the truth out, do you know what I mean? And I believe scriptures have been taken out of the Bible, like I just said before, with the one that was found in the bottle. I believe under the Vatican, even though there's been horrible stuff going on there, rituals and stuff, I believe there are things in the Vatican, not even out of the Bible, out of many scriptures all around the world. Yeah, tons taken out of the Bible. That's what I mean. I'm not saying the Bible's not true. I'm saying there's literature, there's pieces out of the Bible, there's pieces out of other people's writings from around the world that have been screwed up like the Bible, things taken out. So, that jigsaw puzzle's missing. So we don't, there's truth in it, but we don't actually realise what the actual bigger picture is, because they don't want us to know that, because they're controlling us, if you get what I'm saying. But I also believe that, like I was saying, going back to sleeper cells and stuff, there are people that have been put here, sent here, come back, not known, but have been put here to wake up at a certain time in an era to talk about this, to get it out, because I believe also that there is a window of time, which is, I think it's now, or it's been coming, it's a sort of window of time that stays open for this to happen, because I believe when this happens, we've already won. You've got to win, like I said, as above, so below. You've got to win. It's got to win in the spiritual world first before it wins on earth. We've already won, and it's playing out now. That's why everything's going mad in mainstream media and everywhere, even with the Q thing and the Trump thing and everything. It's all playing out, it's all coming together, because like I said before, Trump has said, and the Q drops have said, and it says anyway in the Bible and stuff, it's not just a war of flesh and blood, it is a war of spiritual war as well. So this is why I'm going back to my spiritual stuff, because this is what I believe in. There's other stuff, people doing the really great stuff on the physical that's going on here, but we also need the spiritual, because believe it or not, when you hit the 5D, that is definitely the spiritual, definitely coming into the physical. We need it. That's why they say Age of Aquarius is now lifting the veil. Age of Aquarius is lifting the veil. We're lifting the veil on things that I think are going to be disclosed, whatever you call it, coming out in the future. I think the first stuff that's going to come out first is all this stuff that Trump's sorting out, and Q with the corruptness all over in different, you know, institutions, corporations, all that sort of stuff, and the paedophilia and all that. And then after that, gradually, I think all the other stuff's going to be out about, believe it or not, all the other conspiracies, what people think about conspiracies like aliens and energies and new technologies and all this sort of stuff. I think, like it has been coming out, people talk about, but I've noticed people are talking about it more and more. I believe there's a time, I believe every so many thousands of years, I don't know what it is, we live in a world where we've been warring. Yeah, well, it's getting broke. They're doing a good job of doing it themselves. I believe, like Max was saying and his partner, that we're at war all the time. Like I said before, it's infinite. It's like it just comes back around again. We're always warring, and we always win. And they know we always win, so they only have a certain amount of time. Like if you want to say Lucifer only has a certain amount of time to do what he does, even though it could be, you know, for so many years. And then he knows it's up. And then we have this window of time where people get to the knowing again and get the truth. And then there's like heaven on earth. Heaven come down to earth, meaning the spiritual to the physical. So so that reigns for so many thousands of years again, hundreds of thousands of years again, or whatever it is, until eventually the low entities come again, because they don't. We can get rid of some, and some, like people in the physical realm, but they do creep back in because they don't really go anywhere, because we are all energy. Even the lower energies, we are all energy. So it's like we take turns, you know, we reign for a bit and then the evil creeps in again, and then we all have to learn again, and sort of that it goes. So I believe that this time is coming. That's why all this stuff's coming out, and everything seems so mad at the minute, you know, with the Baphomet thing going up in America, that stupid statue and all this, because they're trying to get it in there. They're trying to, maybe if they learn every year, every so many thousands of years, they try and get it in a bit quicker because they want that energy to rule, but it isn't doing. And I believe that's why it's been so mad lately. Maybe every so many thousand years they learn a bit more, so but we do as well. So yeah, it's just all about hidden truths and stuff like that. But if anything, if you don't believe it, it's interesting. But that is actually how I think, and how I think the world actually works. I do believe there's different dimensions with, even they say about the rainbow's in the Bible. The rainbow, if you think about its colours, it's like your chakra, tree of life, the chakra's going up middle in your DNA, it's light energies, the highest one being the crown chakra, which I believe when you look at people who say Illuminati, even the Queen and that, you know, checkerboard floor and all that, the crown has different jewels on it, different colours, and purple on it. And some people say, oh, purple's bad, but I think purple stands for maybe the illuminated ones, because they're illuminated because they know this truth and they know the power, but they're not using it for humanity. They're using it for themselves and low energy, where we could use it for good energy. The people on the higher vibe, the people who are, you know, who have empathy and hold love and light and compassion, would use it for the better. You know what I mean? If you get what I'm saying. Also today, I pulled 2 cards again. And funny enough, one fell on the floor because when I do it where I just let one jump out and see what it says. In Salem, Massachusetts, we have, yeah, I've seen your Salem and that. I used to watch videos in Salem, the woman with the dark hair, and watch some witchy stuff on there ages ago. Interesting. But like I said, symbols can mean different things, you know what I mean? So, yeah. So, yeah, no, it was last night when I did the chat last night. This fell out again, or I pulled it after, so I thought I'd show you it. And it was, you know, things we're talking about. Well, this one, yeah, okay, I will after this one. It says inner truths. So, makes me laugh really, because what I've been talking about, you can't see properly on here, but you get a lot of faces in the rocks up here, different things in the pictures, and there's like, you've got the moon up there and like the galaxy up there, and then you've got like she's in a cave, but it looks like a world of inner earth sort of thing, and she's got a light following her light, There's different things going on in the picture, but it is inner truths, because like I've just said, the truth's within you, you know, and she's in somewhere as well. And then the one that fell out before was vulnerability. Don't know if you can see. But to me, I'll read out what the book actually says. It says, there is a lot of depth to your feelings. I do feel quite a lot. You are on your way to understanding your feelings and desires more clearly. The next steps on your path will soon reveal themselves. Stay vigilant to new opportunities that may lead to the beginnings of novel projects or assist with current ventures. Look around you and within you. Be willing to do the work at the deepest level, as you will find jewels of wisdom. I was just talking about jewels. Knowledge and the inner voice, all waiting patiently to assist you. Nature's crystals are created deep within the earth. Go deep and find your own treasures, because earth is heart energy as well. I've got my gemstone on today. This one. Where are they? I will do one for you because I know you've asked before. Ace of Swords. Am I supposed to be looking that up in me? I've got a tarot deck as well, but I do like Whispers Nature. What are these called? Nature's Whispers. No. Everyone has their own truth, don't they? You know. Right. I'll take the one that fell on the floor. It says, catch your breath. And it says, I've not done these for a while. Yeah, everyone's got their own truth. It doesn't really mean anyone's right or wrong. I'm not saying I'm right. It's just the way I think and what I believe. Take a break and enjoy a quiet period. This time can be used to regroup, recover and stabilise yourself. It is wise to keep in mind the fact that this is for a limited period of time. You are pausing to regain your footing as you evaluate your environment. Check to see if you need to clear any ill within anyone. Ask for forgiveness and be willing to forgive as necessary forward. Enjoy this downtime. Acknowledge the importance of recharging your energy, which I've been talking about. I was doing that today myself. So you are refreshed and ready to tackle life and any challenges that come your way. Because later on today, I was sat in the garden. Is there? What do you mean? Because I had my bare feet out on the grass that needs cutting, but it was long and it was really soft and it was lovely. And the sun was out and I was watching the clouds lay down and it was just, armour of God, yeah. And it, you know, I said about earthing, put your soul to the ground. Don't wear your shoes if you've got a garden or you can get to a park. Just put your bare feet, your soles. Because if you think about what I was saying before about the tree of life, the soles of your feet. Oh, are you? I'm trying to think if I've seen you before, but I don't know. I get mixed up with everyone's names now. Oh, lovely. Congratulations. The soles of your feet. Armour of gods and goddesses. Do I know you? I'm trying to think. On the earth, you're connecting to source energy because the earth is heart energy, your heart energy, so you're connecting. And the earth is connecting to you. And when they say about DMT, yeah, I'm trying to think now. I just get mixed up with people. DMT's in plants and things, and if you're connecting, you know, it's probably why we wear rubber on our shoes, so you're not connecting to earth. Hi, borderline me. I'm going in a bit. Have you been watching Simon? You know, there's a lot in nature and how you connect through. Because your toes, I've said this to a borderline me before, your toes, think of them like roots when you're connected into the ground. So you're connecting with the frequencies in nature. You know, when people say, I know it sounds mad, oh, you talk to your plants or sing to your plants, they feel the love energy off you, so you can put it into the earth. That's why I say it's nice to sit out in the garden. If you haven't got a garden, go to a park. You can slip your shoes off, you know, read a book, sit in the sunshine, do a bit of soak up the sun energy, and I just enjoyed it today. It does recharge your batteries. But yeah, oh, by the way, if anyone wants to go and, yeah, I was telling you ages ago, wasn't I? Simon Reverend Sideways, his channel on YouTube, he's talking about what's really going on in South Africa, so check it out. But yeah, I was recharging my batteries that way today, and it was weird as well, because I was listening to something as well, but also when it went quiet for a bit, I mean, it's normally noisy, I can hear the road and stuff, it wasn't, it was just like, oh, it's nice and silent, you know, silence. But yeah, and in chat, it doesn't matter who's saying what, you know, because this is a thing I fight with sometimes. Just don't give your energies, you know, it takes your energy and stuff off you. I just think sometimes if someone's being nice and they're watching my channel, whether they believe it or not, sometimes things will resonate with you. It doesn't have to be all of it, because it's like I'm saying, you don't have to believe what I say or follow me or anything. It's just, I just like to say, I like to come here and talk, just to say, this is what I think, this is how I feel. Maybe some of you do, but this is just, I see people talking like this a lot, and it resonates with me, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. And how I think, how I believe the world to work is like what I've just tried to explain. Because there's some people out there, like I said before, they'll just sit at home, they listen to mainstream media, and borderline me'll know about, I've been watching about the guy you've been watching, and Seven, and the gang, what's it called, gang stalking and stuff like that. And the guy that was talking about, Max Spears, or Spires I think it was called, the one who's into conspiracy theories with being a super soldier, sort of abducted by aliens and all that sort of stuff that make people think weird, they get gang stalked. Anyone who's talking truth on any level of anything, conspiracy theory or whatever, made out to look mad, and they get gang stalked off people, because like a Trump tweet, or like thank you, like Q has just put out today, I've not looked at the Q drops properly, join the dots, has just said about CIA is people like normal people, receptionists, secretaries, politicians, people in everyday normal life. You get people in the CIA, and they're just talking about satellites and communications going down, and all this sort of stuff. And those are the people that, you know, you think are there helping people, but they're not. They're investigating other people who are talking truth because they don't like it, because they don't want it to come out. And then those people are seen to be mad, when actually they're not. They're just trying to get truth out. Like, that is all. No matter what I've said here tonight, the connection to it all is all around the globe. Whether you believe in what I've just said, or you believe in something else, you believe in Q or you don't believe in Q, the whole point to it all is we all want the truth. That's all we want. No matter what it is, big or small, and believe me, it's massive. We just want to know the truth. That's all we want to know. And them lower vibrations will come in again, because that's what they are, the people who do this to stop people getting the truth out. That's what they are. They work on lower vibrations. They're not compassionate. They don't come from love, and they don't come from truth, light, or empathy, because they can't, because they work in a lower vibration. The more material, the more bothered about money and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a truth in every family. They're the ones that are the nutcases. Yeah, they do, because that sort of thing, they put fear into people, and that's what these lower entities do as well. It's all about fear mongering. It's all about keeping us in fear. It's all about keeping us suppressed, because they don't want us to be free to know the truth, because, wow, we'd be all just be happy, wouldn't we, really? Or be living one in love and not fighting and arguing and having race wars and all this stuff they put out there. But, you know, like I said, there's a window of time. It's here. Someone's helped with it as well. And someone said the other day on a YouTube video, I'm not even going to say the names and give them the whatever. And he was all for Q. And then yesterday he was like, oh, and he's American. Oh, it's not true anymore. I worked in the army and because I was in the army, I know the CIA don't work like this and they can't just let stuff out like this. And I was like, hey, anonymous. Q is anonymous. He's anonymous for a reason. Because he was saying it would be treasonous. So when it's not treasonous because he's anonymous. No one knows who he is. He hasn't done anything treasonous. He's just put breadcrumbs out there, little breadcrumbs, as they say, so you can bake the loaf at the end of it and see the bigger picture, the bigger loaf, or whatever they call it. But he's put little codes out there of breadcrumbs to make you go and research. We the people, like people are researching stuff with what's going on, yeah, like Brian and all that sort of stuff, to research stuff to find out yourself. So it isn't treason. But this person doesn't seem to understand that. It was more like, well, I was in the army. You said you was in the army. Doesn't mean you were in the army. My dad was in the army. We were army kids or whatever you want to call them. So what? Just because you think you know that's not how the FBI do it and the CIA, well, guess what? They've been lying and not helping people, have they? But the true ones in, if it's like CIA or hiring, classified, that's why they have to do it the way they've done it. That's why they're doing it within the law, and they're dropping little nuggets of things that we have to find and we have to go and research, and then we find out the truth. So they've not. That's why people say, why didn't they just all give it us? Well, they can't just give it us because it would be treason or whatever, and the world are going to go mad when they find out the truth anyway. Because let's face it, it isn't nice. But if they'd give it us all in one, there'd be more riots. There's going to be things happening. There's going to be people getting mad because I do believe something's coming before 9/11. But the way they've done it, it's to bring that down a bit. There won't be so many casualties or people, I don't know, just heads exploding with the truth. They've had to do it within the law and in a certain way where it's not treason, where the lower entities like Hillary Clinton and Obama and all the other people and McCain, McStain, No Name, who everyone thinks is a war hero, who actually isn't, is a traitor to America, believe it or not, but you will find that out if you've not heard that before, are low entities and, they are traitors and they have done treason because they have done things that are not within the law, and they've done treason because the low entities don't do things within the law. They think they are above it, as we all saw that when they were at court with the I can't even remember what it was called now, but that's what they do. Yeah, Q all dropped at once. 99% of the world's population would end up in the mental facilities. Yeah, that's what they said, because the amount of truth bombs that have come out that we know about, that the other sheeple are going to find out about, you're going to want to go to hospital or do something even worse, because it's going to be hard for people to comprehend what has actually been going on, because people like conspiracies they won't want, a lot of people will have to get used to it. A lot of people will just not believe it's true, but they're abruptly just going to have to be woken up to it, because it is the truth. It is what's happening, and people have been sleeping and fell asleep and got lazy, and that's what's happening really. But I'd just say look out for Trump Wars. It's coming out on the 9th, so that's 2 days before 9/11, and McCain, McStain, No Name died, if you follow Q, 17 days before 9/11 and 17 years and it's 17 years after 9/11, and I think he died I think the 17 was in there at the time he died as well, so that's a bit strange. Every dog has a day, and National Dog Day did he die on, or that came out on, so yeah, funny that, isn't it? But yeah, and someone said, oh, he's having an open casket. No, he didn't. And guess what I saw today? I saw a video of Hillary there, and whoa, I think it was there or somewhere, but she looks proper. Not that you'd be smiling at a funeral, but she looks like she knows she ain't winning anymore. And she looked quite dopey to me as well, so yeah, drained of her energy. Because she knows the time that I was talking about. Yeah, 17 total victory over the enemy. Yeah, on the meds. Yeah, had to dose her up. That time has come. It has to happen because it's every so many thousands of years, and that's what I believe as well. And even if Trump has an entity working for him, he's in a higher light. He's on a higher vibration. Because some people say these entities work through people because they can't work through the physical plane. So if they do, I would believe that. If people say they're puppets, well, they're being used for the better. But the others of the people I've just spoke about are on a lower plane. They don't care. As you'll find out about the stuff Hillary's done and many others, they don't hold empathy. They don't hold love or light or anything. Even in the families, the stuff they do, they're not from love. So if you're not from love, you're from something else, which is a lower energy, and it's evil basically. Serial Brain 2 decodes, not Dog Day. Yeah, Dog Day, US flag lowered for all service dogs died in action. There's loads of things going on with the Q drops, but there's just been too many. I've not even looked at them properly because I have that thing now. Yeah, expand your thinking. No profit in healthy population. Exactly. There's profit in ill people. They don't like us having natural stuff. Even though I believe you can have a mixture of things sometimes, because I'm not saying, oh, it's not good to have technology or it's not good to have certain synthetic stuff because it does help. But if it's being used for the right. Yeah, find a cure, lose a customer. So when all this things is, you'll be finding out there's lots of cures just popped out there for certain, diseases and stuff. But it's starting to get interesting. Well, that's why Big Pharma have all the stuff, don't they? They don't want you being well, they want you being ill because it's money, money, money. Like I said, no empathy, no love. But I'm not saying all meds don't help. Things do help, and I think there's a balance. Yeah, free thinking brains and thoughts and stuff like that. That's what they don't. That's why they're trying to suppress everything at the minute and bring in policies in and laws and all this stuff. It's to suppress everyone so you're not thinking, you're not feeling, because you're losing your empathy, you're losing the love, you're losing your process to actually think for yourself. They want you believing what they're saying, like MSM, and they just want you not to think or feel anything. They want you to be like AI. That's why I believe a lot of stuff they try to give us stuff with heavy metals in. That's even body makeup, body lotions you put on, hairspray, things around your house, chemicals. You can't really get away from it at the minute with what these people have done to us. Chemtrails, all this stuff to add like heavy metals to keep us down, to keep us like a robot AI, because if you've got more metals in you, sort of come that way. But if you think about it, if you're becoming more in a lower vibration and you have no empathy and you have no love and compassion, that is like a robot. Robots don't feel what humans feel. They don't. That's a bit like what these entities are like. They're jealous because we feel compassion and love and empathy. They don't feel that. So they'd like us to be like them. So if they take the empathy away and all that sort of stuff, like I said before, is what they're doing in this world today with the way they're getting the kids and the next generations to not care about other people, and the fighting, and it's all about, all this stuff that's going on. That's out there and it's a fact anyway. This is true. We will turn into AIs, and then there's all these things you've got to do in the future with microchipping things in your hands and doing this. This is all, you think that's a good idea. It's not. Microchip to open your door or to get in your car. What, so they can control you so you couldn't get into somewhere? Or these like self-driven cars. It's all right if the person behind it who makes this is good, but at the minute, if there's been bad entities or bad people in the physical realm where we have things like self-driven cars, that means they could crash. You could want to go somewhere and they're going to control you because you get in your car and you want to travel somewhere and you can't go there because, like the same with the microchipping thing, with if we had no money or whatever, they could say, oh no, we don't want you to do this, therefore you can't go here, you can't drive your car because we're controlling it, because it's computerized. So if you have too much of that with the wrong people behind the system, that's how they control you. Next minute we'll be having locks on our doors that are all computerized, so you can't get in your house, or someone could get in your house, or you can't get out, or your car could crash, or do you know what I'm saying? So there's like got to be balance. It doesn't mean that AI and certain technologies are bad. It's just if someone who above in that system who puts it out is using it for evil, lower vibrations, it's not good. When, like I said before, there's lots of, Tesla and all that, lots of technologies out there hidden, and lots of inventions that are out there that they're not telling us that are being used, but they can be used for the humanity. I believe that's what they were built for, but they've been used against humanity. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go because I'm tired and I don't even actually know if I've actually made sense to anybody, but I make sense to myself, and I just like to put it out there because I know there's a few of you that resonate, and I know that's how some people think. Research how many epidemics are, is that right? Epidemics are man-made. Think bird flu, swine flu, Asian flu. Think AIDS. You think they are not capable of, yeah. A lot of things you think are just like, oh, if there was a God, why are these things happening? Man-made. Man-made. Depopulation, keeping people ill, and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I might just pull a card out while I'm sat here just for, I don't know what's going on. Let's see. But yeah, if you're resonating even to a bit of truth, maybe not to all of it, it's good. At the end of the day, we all want truth, so resonate with that. If you want to resonate with anything, we just want to know the truth at the end of the day. And that is all. If there was love, light, compassion and empathy, there wouldn't be problems in the world, because people would be treating people like they treat themselves. Thank you. I just hope it made sense. I always think I don't make sense, but, I've probably missed a load of stuff out. I'm actually going to do a talk on, I might do it tomorrow, if I zap my energy levels up, on, what's I going to do it on? Oh. I think, yeah, please go and check out Simon Reverend Sideways. He's done a live chat. He could still be on, I don't know, on South Africa. Share it, talk about it. It's about what's really going on in South Africa, instead of the mainstream media pretending there's not much happening over there when there is a lot of white genocide and murders and stuff going on over there. Please go and watch it, because that's why we like alternative news, because they actually talk about what's going on instead of feeding the sheeple fake news, basically. So please go over to Simon Reverend Sideways, and that's just thrown out, and it says, there you go, as I've just been talking about, the whole thing. Empowerment. I'll just quickly read it. Says, the movement for respect for life. Oh, that's funny, because that's what I've just been talking about, because basically that's what it is. Respect for life and all living things, attuning to nature, what I've just been talking about, and to the creatures of the earth is at hand. Tune into the deep well compassion that spills over rapidly to anyone who needs your help. You are being directed to take action, to remove difficulties and resolve problems. Exactly. Be receptive to guidance from wherever it happens to come. Don't be surprised to receive support from unusual avenues. Well, there you go. Be alert to seemingly random input. Not random. Which will give you clues and ideas that had not occurred to you earlier. Once you have picked up these signs, pursue them diligently and with determination. The potential for them to pay off is immense. As soon as you know what action to take it. There you go. I'm going to do a chat on, and it might be tomorrow, I don't know. I might save it, but I'm going to do a chat on heart energy again, and how to anchor it, collect it through different ways that I have spoke about before in different posts, about like the positive message dropping thing that I used to do, and I know some people have done it, but how to do it through food, water, words that you speak. Even I have a problem with one of them, which I will talk about, because I'll talk about truth. Yeah, just heart energy and how to recharge it and get it in your system, sort of thing, if anyone understands what I'm talking about. Basically, getting higher vibrations into your positivity, that's what I'm talking about, heart energy, instead of, you know, if you're feeling a bit negative, especially with the stuff that's going on, how to get the heart energy, higher vibrations into your body. Bye, Dad, night, and I'll say good night because I'm hot. I need to finish my drink off, it's gone cold, and yeah, I'm going to start doing more things like this, so and reporting on a little bit in between when some other things come up, because yeah, something we'll be doing soon. So I shall see you soon. Bye.